So in this video, let's solve one of the most important question of marginal costing. This questions already appeared in June 2017 examinations, which is carries up to 8 marks. Right. So very important for your upcoming examinations also. So let's solve these questions without wasting any further time. So the question is, ABC Limited has furnished the following data for the 2 years. Sales given for 2015 and 16 10 lakh and for 2016 and 17 not given. Similarly, profit volume ratio 50% for 2015 and 16 and 37.5% for 2016 and 17. Similarly, margin of safety of sales as a percentage of total sales is 40% for 2015 and 16 and 21.875% for 2016 and 17. Right. Similarly, there has been substantial savings in the fixed cost in the year 2016 and 17 due to the restructuring process. Now, the company could maintain its sales quantity level of 2015 and 16 in 2016 and 17 by reducing the selling price. You are required to calculate the following values in rupees: sales for 2016 and 17, break-even sales for 2016 and 17, and fixed cost for 2016 and 17. Right. So this is the questions. First, we need to understand the questions very well in order to solve these questions, because in these questions only sales given and profit volume ratio given, and similarly margin of safety as a percentage of sales given, but there is nothing mentioned about fixed cost value, variable cost value. So we need to take profit volume ratio as base in order to calculate sales for 2016 and break-even sales for 2016 and 17 and fixed cost for 2016 and 17, because in questions only ratio is given for profit volume ratio and margin of safety as a percentage of sales. Right. So I have already solved the first two steps of these questions. See, in 2015 profit volume ratio already given 50%. So already given PV ratio 50%. अगर PV रेशियो 50% है तो वेरिएबल कॉस्ट रेशियो कितना होगा ना, 100% माइनस 50%, दैट इज 50%. अगर वेरिएबल कॉस्ट रेशियो 50% हो रहा है तो फिर वेरिएबल कॉस्ट कितना होगा? तो as you know that the formula of variable cost when there is a ratio given in questions, it will be sales into PV ratio. So sales given 10 lakh into PV ratio given 50%, so variable cost will be 10 lakh into 50%, that is 5 lakh. Right. Now we have to calculate sales value for 2016. Again, in questions given that sales quantity has not changed, means the company could maintain its sales quantity level of 2015-16 in 2016-17. मतलब जितना सेल्स क्वांटिटी है 2015 और 16 में वो मेंटेन रहेगा 2016 और 17 में. सो अगर सेल्स क्वांटिटी चेंज नहीं हुआ है तो वेरिएबल कॉस्ट भी चेंज नहीं होगा. तो फॉर लेट्स राइट in 2016 and 17 sales quantity has not changed. Sales quantity has not changed. अगर सेल्स क्वांटिटी चेंज नहीं होगा तो वेरिएबल कॉस्ट भी चेंज नहीं होगा. thus variable cost in 2016 and 17 is rupees 5 lakh. Right. Again in questions given that PV ratio for 2016 and 17 is 37.5%. 37.5%. Right. So now if PV ratio is 37.50%, then variable cost ratio कितना होगा? Then variable cost ratio कितना होगा? 100% of sales minus 37.50%, that is 62.5%. Right. And similarly अगर वेरिएबल कॉस्ट रेशियो 62.5% हो रहा है तो फिर सेल्स कितना होगा? Sales in 2016 and 17 will be, what is the formula now? Okay, so as we know that sales quantity has not changed, thus variable cost in 2016-17 is 5 lakh. So sales will be variable cost divided by variable cost ratio. Right. So variable cost कितना है? 5 lakh. Variable cost ratio कितना है? 62.5%. So sales will be 5 lakh divided by 62.5%. So it will be 5 lakh divided by 62.5%. It will be 8 lakh. राइट. ये हो गया आपका सेल्स फॉर 2016 एंड 17. फर्स्ट का आंसर मिल गया हम लोगों को. सेल्स फॉर 2016 and 17 will be 8 lakh. Now you have to calculate break-even sales for 2016 and 17. Break-even sales for 2016 and 17. Right. So as we know that at break-even point fixed cost is always equal to contribution. So in 2016 and 17 break-even sales कितना होगा ना? 100% of total sales minus margin of safety as a percentage of total sales minus margin of safety as a percentage of total sales. So break-even sales कितना होगा ना? break-even sales रेशियो कितना होगा? 100% माइनस मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी परसेंटेज 875. It will be it will be 78.125%. 78.125%. Right. Now we obtain break-even sales ratio. Now we have to calculate break-even sales. Break-even sales in rupees. Break-even sales for 2016 and 17 in rupees. So what is the formula of break-even sales? Here, as we obtain break-even sales ratio, now the formula to calculate break-even sales in value will be sales into break-even sales ratio. Sales into break-even sales ratio, right? So here in 2016 and 17 we obtain the value of sales, that is 8 lakh. So now break-even sales will be 8 lakh into break-even sales ratio, 78.125%. It will be 8 lakh into 78.125%. It will be 6,25,000. So break-even sales in rupees will be 6,25,000. ये हो गया आपका आंसर फॉर break even sales for 2016 and 17. Now similarly we have to calculate fixed cost. Now I need to calculate fixed cost for 2016 and 17. Fixed cost for 2016 and 17. So as we know that what is the formula of fixed cost when only a ratio given, in that case the formula of fixed cost will be break even sales into profit volume ratio, right? So break even sales into PV ratio. So we already obtained the value of break even sales, that is 6,25,000. 6,25,000, and PV ratio for 2016 and 17 is 37.50% as given in questions. PV ratio 37.50%. Then the value of fixed cost will be break even sales 6,25,000 into PV ratio है 37.50%. 37.50%. It will be how much? 6,25,000 into 37.50%. ये हो गया आपका 2,34,375. 2,34,375. So fixed cost for the year 2016 and 17 will be 2,34,375. Finish. We obtain the value of sales for the year 2016 and 17, that is 8 lakh, and for break-even sales for 2016 and 17 is rupees 6,25,000, and fixed cost for 2016 and 17 is rupees 2,34,375, right? So very interesting questions. You just need to read the questions very carefully in order to solve these questions, because in question only ratio given for profit volume and for margin of safety. So in that case you have to calculate through PV ratio formula. Similarly, I have calculated to taken PV ratio as a base for sales in 2016 and 17 is variable cost divided by variable cost ratio, that is 8 lakh, and break even sales formula will be sales into break even sales ratio. Break even sales ratio formula is 100% minus margin of safety percentage, total sales minus total sales percentage, total sales percentage minus margin of safety percentage, right? So it will be 78.125%, and break even sales in ratio is rupees 6,25,000. And what is the formula of fixed cost ratio? Break even sales into PV ratio, that is 6,25,000 into 37.5%, that is 2,34,375, right? So this is it, all about marginal costing. Question number 6A of June 2017 examinations. So thank you so much for your time, thank you so much for your support, and happy studying.